Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to share my experience interviewing for two roles, Underwriting Assistant and Underwriting Associate for a company. It was actually the same company but different departments. I would like anyone who is interested in the insurance company to learn from my experience. I hope you find this useful. For the Underwriting Assistant interview process, it was 3 stage so far, or should I say it's been 3 stage. The first round was I was contacted by the recruiter via an email and we scheduled an interview with the head of the team I did potentially be working with. In the first interview, it was very conversational with the recruiter. She asked me about my interest in the role, told me also about the role, the day-to-day responsibility of the role, the expectations, the salary, and that was basically it. When I had my first encounter with one of the team lead for the underwriting, she told me about the role in more detail this time, and I also had the opportunity to ask her what success looked like within the first few months of the role. I scaled through to the next round. The next round, I would say it was more of the management team, one of the head of the management team. The few questions I did jot down that he asked me is, how do you share your opinions with stakeholders? For a UA assistant role, you'll be working with an underwriter directly. So he asked that question. That was really important. He asked me about data and management projects I had on my resume. Then he asked me how I would explain insights to non-technical things. He also asked, what role did you personally play in those past projects? I scaled through that round. It was way conversational, honestly. The third round, it was more technical. Like, this other senior manager really went straight to my resume. He asked me about all the projects I had there, like all my work experience, like line by line. He read everything and was asking me. At some point, honestly, I didn't even remember some of the things I put on that particular resume because I have so many versions of my resume, you can imagine. So I was just, trying here and there, but I did grade myself good. I still did good. At a few of the questions he asked me, I had a note taker for this one. I would start from, he asked me about, because I belong to a risk management society in campus. He asked me about it. He also asked me about the other colleague interview and the discussions if I had further questions. Next, he asked I should explain about the data model because I had a data model example on one of my job description. He asked me my experience building and using data model. He also asked about analyzing attendance, payment, performance, still job functions he picked out from my resume. Then the next technical question, he asked me about auto liability, general liability, and workers' compensation, if I had experience. I was honest and I told him I didn't have any experience in that. The only insurance experience I had on my resume was a job stimulation I did in Forage for AIG, which was in a healthcare context, working as an underwriter. He asked me questions like me using technical tools like PowerPoint, Excel. Then lastly, he asked about what questions I had for job. Honestly, at that point, we've had a long conversation and I didn't want to even probe further. The proper thing is always to ask few questions like, okay, what's the next step after this interview? But honestly, I just wanted the interview to end and I told him no questions. So please don't make that mistake. Always ask. No matter what, no matter how many questions you've asked within the conversations or interview, ask one question at least. Next experience I want to share, I made it to the second round of this interview for Underwriting Associate for commercial line. The first step was a recruiter call also, where she explained about the roles, the expectations, and confirmed if I was interested. She told me about the salary and if I was interested in the role. So it was an in-person role in the city. I told her yes. She scheduled an interview. So that was round 1. Then round 2 was honestly really technical and high. It was more like a high pressure interview, honestly. I had with these two, it was more like a senior vice president and an assistant vice president in this interview. They went straight to the questions. They told me straight up from the beginning that they had other potential people that they had to interview that same day. I think them telling me or me having that in mind, it's kind of made me a little more tense, because like I believe within the first 2 questions they asked me, I was like off. I was like, oh my goodness, I have other competitors. But this is a battlefield. It's not a time to be like, oh yeah, there are other people. Yes, there are always other people, but my brain just did not click and be like, put in your best in the first question. But before the 3rd question, I picked up. But let me just go over. I'm just telling you how it was. It was just straight up with 2 senior managers that went straight from the beginning and told me, you have other people line up for this same role, so we just want to be fast and get on with it. The questions they asked me, I had a note taker. I will tell you all they asked me. The first question, straight up, they didn't ask me, tell me about yourself, tell me about job, or whatever. They just went straight and asked me, tell me about a project where your analytical skill and attention to detail were critical. That was the first question. Bruh, they didn't even ask me my name. The next question was where you're finding obvious. Like that was like a follow-up question. Where you're finding obvious, did you have to extract them from data? The next question, describe a difficult problem or challenge you faced and how you handled it. That was a good one. How would your co-workers describe you? Good question too. What about insurance interests you? Good question. How do you communicate complex information to non-technical team? Good question. Describe a time you work closely with a team to achieve a goal. Next question, was this real work or a simulation? Because I told them about a project, then they wanted to really know if it was a real job or a simulation. Then they said, tell me about a time you persuaded others to adopt your own view. The next question, why underwriting at this company specifically? Then they asked me if I had questions for them. I believe those are the major questions they asked me. And the question I asked them was like the difference between the underwriting role and the difference between underwriting role and also the associate program they had at the company at that time. So after a few days before the end of the week, let's say I had the interview on Tuesday, on Friday the same week, they told me they were not moving forward, while the other one I made it to the 3rd round. So I'm still waiting for the final results. So I will share you guys how the next round is gonna be. And the key takeaway I want you all to have in mind here is that there's a difference between different roles in the company. So always read the job description to understand better what to expect. And one thing about underwriting associate roles is expect to be asked more technical questions than you interviewing as an underwriter. So when it's an underwriting associate role, they ask you more technical questions, especially about the particular specialty you are interviewing for. If you're interested in underwriting, insurance, or transitioning into this field, I hope this breakdown help you to prepare better and feel more confident in your next interview. If you actually find this useful, please like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section. If you also want to have like a PDF of my preparation templates and also the questions, because I had like a note taker take down all the questions. So if you want me to share that with you, let me know and I will share that with you. Also, prepare with STAR method when answering your questions. There is a YouTuber, I'm going to put his link. He did a very good job in breaking down how to answer behavioral questions, because in behavioral questions, most of them look out for skills like resilience, leadership, ethics, behavior when interviewing people. So if you follow him and you watch his videos, you're also going to ace your interview. I watched his video and I gained more confidence in my next round of interview. That's all I have to share for now. See you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.